Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are covering what happened last weekend. So on Friday morning I woke up and we attended a book review with my colleagues, of which we were talking about the giants of other industries. We do this so that we can learn the good practices from the other industries, not just our own. Thereafter, it was time to pack for my appointment at Buona Vista, of which today we are meeting a client for a wheel writing one. I've been using this bag which my wife has given me. Is from Donut, and I really think it's really handy because it can fit everything together. And since I wasn't intending to drive today, it made good sense for me to wear comfortable shoes since I would be walking a lot. It takes me about 10 minutes to walk from my place all the way to the nearest train station, and sadly because I've just missed the train, I had to wait for the next one. I decided to grab myself a protein snack before meeting my client for lunch, and also a drink so that I will not be dehydrated. And since I was still early, I decided to catch a quick read of this book on regrets that I had brought along from home. So my client and I had a fruitful discussion over lunch, and after getting all of her instructions, I decided to drop by Jurong East Don Don Donki so that I could sit down and get some work done. They were having a promotion for their highball, of which a mega glass came out to be about $16. And so it was time to get to work. After about an hour and a half, I was done drafting her new wheel out and will be meeting her very soon for her to review it. Mission accomplished and time to go home. Over the past 6 months, I've realized that even while driving would really bring a lot of convenience, the roads in Singapore have really made it such that I do not enjoy driving anymore, and taking the train has led to me being less stressful overall. Not to mention, choosing public transport in the long term really saves a lot of money. And besides, there will be Grab and other forms of private transport should I get tired. One of the key things that I realized as an adult is that it's so important to still set aside time to get some exercise, and this was what I did. The weather has really been erratic in Singapore the past couple of weeks to months, so I was really glad that for tonight I managed to catch a few of the younger guys to play a good game of basketball. And when I got back, I managed to read some of the input that my client had given me with regards to the wheel that I've drafted for her, and I've decided to amend them before going to bed. I've really been spending so much time on my CEP website, and I'm really glad to have onboarded with them because they made a lot of the processes more seamless. For a light after basketball snack, I decided to have my Guilin Gao that I bought from Malaysia the other day. Surprisingly, when properly refrigerated, they can last up to 3 to 4 days after the date that they were purchased. Safe to say this tasted as good as it was in store. I also decided to further add in more protein to my diet for the day, and honestly between the two I preferred the quail eggs a little more. And that was it for Friday. So on Saturdays, I typically cater my time towards the side business which I have, and this Saturday was no different as I started my day by doing some administrative tasks in doing up an invoice for a customer who has inquired. Thereafter, there was a little bit of time for me to catch a few games on my PS4 before heading out to celebrate my mom's birthday together as a family. We decided to have KBBQ over at Bukit Timah, of which had a neat promotion of 2 pints for $12. Oba is perhaps one of the best Korean food that we can find in Singapore, and honestly coming here has never disappointed me at all. Even while prices are slightly higher than other places that you can find, they do have a staff over here that will help you cook your food to perfection, and all you have to do is to eat. As such, for the food quality, the food quantity, and also the service, I actually think this might be one of my favorite Korean restaurants here in Singapore. If you have never tried them for yourself, I would highly recommend you too. Thereafter, my wife and I went over to IKEA, and before we could do some furniture shopping, I had some work to complete. It appears that IKEA has some new designs on showcase, and I like this one which had a very dreamy vibe. They also have these pendant lights which I personally find perfect for the bedroom. When I was much younger, my mom used to tell me about how people could spend whole days over here in IKEA, and honestly I would just look at her in bewilderment because I would never think I could spend a whole day in a single place. Now that I'm an adult, I would understand why people would do it, and I would perhaps say I would do it too. Soon after, we headed over to Tanjong Pagar to have some rice bowls, and if you have ever wondered what goes behind the scene of trying to make videos look good, this is a good indication. Needless to say, we have definitely overordered. This is 6 different flavors of Min Jian Kueh, which is really popular here in Singapore. The typical fillings that you will get is either peanut or perhaps coconut or perhaps red bean as well. This is their rice bowl, and honestly in comparison, I think that their Min Jian Kueh was much better. The great thing is that all of these can be taken away and be reheated for consumption another day. After we got home, I put on some Life of Reza videos, and honestly I really find her videos very cinematic. Personally, as I continue to explore what kind of videos I like to create, I've been incorporating the different styles that creators typically use, and it would be a dream of mine if one day my videos could be filmed and edited exactly like how Life of Reza does hers. To end off the night, I actually went to play the worst game, FIFA, which never fails to make me and my best friend angry every single time. Good Sunday morning everybody. Even though it's not a must for me to be down on Saturdays to check on my side business, I do like to come down on Sundays so that I can speak to my employee and find out how day-to-day operations have been on the ground. I started off by checking the customer orders for the day and also for the week, and also evaluate how our marketing can be improved. These are typically best done on Sundays because it's the quietest day of the week. So much for saying I'm going on a healthier diet. For lunch, I actually had instant noodles. Admittedly, I was a bit too lazy to head downstairs to find out what I could get on a Sunday, so I decided to take the easy way out and just cook myself some instant noodles. For those who are curious, this is Miojo's Tom Yum seasoning. Here at the florist, we are also hiring, and for today I had an interview to conduct. As much as interviewees like to be prepared for their interviews, myself as an interviewer would like to be prepared as well. Once the interview was done, I decided to clean up one of the videography lighting stands because I wanted to use this back at home. This one was a really cheap one and didn't have a lighting shade, but because I didn't want to spend any additional money, I decided this one shall do for now. As the tripod was a little bit old, there was a little bit of fixing which had to be done. I believe younger me would have just bought an entire new set, but now older me is much more mature and knows not to spend so much money unnecessarily. And by 4 PM it was time to put everything in the car and also drive home. The first thing I got home was to dig into my mom's birthday cake, which I have not eaten yesterday, and also an apple strudel that happened to be in the fridge, either purchased by my mom or my sister, and honestly this one really makes up so much of my childhood. There is no need to guess who got guilty after having that much sweets, so I laced up and headed to the basketball courts again. I played with a much older group of friends today, which ages range from early 20s all the way up to the early 50s. As we get older, our play style definitely change as with our body conditions, so it's great for me to play with different groups so that I can get more experience on how to improve my game. And dinner for me was some chicken breast and some eggs as well. And once again, thank you so much for staying through this entire video.